They can't like reason, well, this reporter is this name and they have this many years as a reporter. Most people are just, oh, CNN said it. And they sort of intuit, like CNN won't post certain claims which are not in line with their identity. Fox News posts different things than CNN does.
Hey, most people are NPCs. What can you do?
Or do you really believe that? I actually wonder this. So like, because like really, like, do you believe that most people are NPCs?
I think it's funny to wonder it, but I act like it. I act like most people are NPCs. I mean, I don't view anybody as any different from me, and I trust that although I may not notice it, most of my behaviors are also NPC behaviors. And if I try to look back, I do find that most of my behaviors are just on autopilot, you know? In that sense, I also, from what we were saying earlier, that's why I don't try to remove anyone from my life, regardless of whether or not I think they're an NPC, because I think, like, based individuals who think for themselves, who enjoy the process of thinking and problem solving and evaluating and reevaluating and
You
being
just say base.
skeptical of their own thoughts, I believe that those kinds of people are made, not born. So I feel like I can change people, you know? I don't think people are like, oh, they're just like hollow shells of people and most people are like that and we're the main characters and we're conscious and we're aware, but then they're just brain dead essentially in there and they just go put on a good performance of looking human or whatever. I don't think that's the case at all. I think we're all the same. It's just it's like an addiction. It's like a feedback loop. The less people like actively accept wisdom from any source and are also skeptical of every source, the harder it becomes over time to critically think. And the more time that goes by and the less critical thinking you do, the less you enjoy it, the more painful, the more stressful it becomes. Eventually, people just forget how to do it, and they just coast in life, and they're able to do that. So I don't think they're NPCs. I think they're like people like me. But I just got lucky and ended up in a situation where I learned to enjoy thinking enough to where I like continue to foster my own creativity, and I wanted to think critically, so I continue to think critically. But I think they're just people like you and me in the same way that anybody can be susceptible to like any kind of addiction. I think it's like the same thing. It's an addiction to the ease of letting go of taking your own thoughts and beliefs into your own hands. I have a lot of I was just talking to this girl who's like she's also Muslim. She goes out, she drinks, she smokes, she parties, she does all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what do you believe? Like actually what do you believe? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in any of this Muslim stuff? Like this is against the value system that you claim to apply to yourself when in small talk you say you're a Muslim and then you don't follow the things that being a Muslim I would assume should entail. And she's like, I don't know, I don't really think about that kind of like she's very dismissive of it. Usually she's like super chill and totally fine, but then she actually seems like irritated to even talk about it or even confront those ideas. And I suspect the more time that goes by, she's like 20 right now, maybe when she's like 30, she'll like completely dismiss it. She won't want to have those conversations with anyone, not even a little. Like that's kind of what I suspect is happening. I don't think they're like a different creature or whatever, as some people might say, but I don't think acting as if they're different creatures is anything like crazy. I mean, it's like two different modes of being the way I see it.
So I mean, the whole like NPC thing is kind of a weird term to me, but it seems like in this context, you're just meaning NPC to be something like someone who doesn't think for themselves or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's like I use it as an insult. Honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest. I'd use it as an insult. It's a spectrum. Everyone's an NPC to a certain extent. Nobody. I mean, if you really want to go deep, you could say even your conscious, like even the things that you think that you're in control of and you're making decisions of are actually just the illusion of free will, you know? So it's not like I am like disrespectful or anything like that of NPCs. I mean, I just have fun. I just have fun with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I want to hear Patrick.
And critical thinking and independence of thought, all those things, I agree are important, right? But like, there's this like cliche, like everything in moderation, even moderation, right? And so, yeah, critical thinking, all that stuff is good. I get that. but you seem to be kind of like uncritical about the value of critical thinking, right? And so like this friend of yours that you're mentioning, right? So like she's like Muslim, she does a lot of like Muslim like holidays or traditions or whatever. But then she like goes out partying and drinking and stuff, right? And you seem to be kind of like lamenting the fact that she's not realizing that there seems to be a contradiction there, right? Because like her Muslim beliefs seem to like prescribe against like the partying and the drinking and stuff like that. And but then she like parties, drinks anyways, and considers herself Muslim anyways. And you're saying, oh, like maybe when she's older, like she'll realize this contradiction and like the need to kind of like figure out a way to like resolve it or whatever, right?
No. I'm saying when she's older, it'll be even harder for her to resolve the contradiction.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here
Mhm.
is that like I'm not clear what the value of like critical thinking, like seeing this contradiction and resolving it would be for her. Like if she is happy, if she's happy celebrating like Ramadan or observing Ramadan and other things, and if she's happy going out partying and drinking and she doesn't feel the tension, like I don't see what the inherent value would be for her to feel the tension and to then have to like resolve it, right? In some cases, yes. Like if it's like if I want to be healthy and blah blah blah, but like I'm eating sweets all day long and like I'm gonna like put myself at risk for diabetes or something, then it seems like there would be obvious value in me kind of realizing the contradiction there. I was like, okay, if I really want to be healthy, I need to stop eating sweets all day long. I need to make other changes to my life so I could achieve my goals, right? But if she's in a situation where she can live out her life being happy as someone who identifies as Muslim while she goes out drinking and partying, like I just am not sure what the value would be of her like suddenly like taking this very seriously and seeing it as like a crisis or an issue she has to deal with, or like it's not causing her problems. Like see the problem.
Yeah, I don't think there is much value, if there is any at all. I don't particularly believe in any like deeper value like that at all. I don't use NPC as a way to say that they shouldn't be NPCs. I just use it as a distinction to describe between the kinds of people who can't live with themselves if their beliefs don't match their actions versus the people who can.
Yeah, well, so I think I'm trying to complicate that though. And even though it's not a term I like and it's not a terminology that like I'm really used to, but just like to go with your terminology, my point is that I think you're kind of being like an NPC yourself in the sense that you are uncritically kind of just like promoting the value of critical thinking for its own sake instead of realizing that like yeah, critical thinking is very good, it's important to develop your critical thinking skills and stuff, but it's valuable as a tool, right? And to help with specific things. It's not valuable just for the sake of critically thinking,
No,
right?
no,
Like if
I'm
you're well, let me finish, please. I don't interrupt you. So like it like say you are just like indulging in like some like pastime or something. You're not like critically thinking. You're enjoying it, right? Like I don't see what is wrong with that. So like I'm trying to say like you got to be critical in assessing when critical thinking is actually important or not.
yeah, I don't apply any particular value like that to critical thinking at all actually. Oh, did the guy leave? Dang, how long were you muted for?
Like since the end of the conversation when he left. He didn't just leave because like he hates you, but like I think it's frustrating to feel like like someone doesn't understand what you're saying, and like I kind of get it. Like you didn't feel like you were understanding what he was saying.
Yeah, maybe I
Uh,
wasn't.
yeah, and yeah, it just by your response, it just felt like that. And also, given that like referring to NPC is just like a general insult to refer to someone as like lesser than, like there's like a couple use cases for it. Like sure, we use NPC as like a descriptive thing, but like I think it's also like something that involves like a personal attack.
Yeah, I would
So,
agree.
but like he's not even referring to the personal attack component. He's referring to the component that you were referring to about critical thinking, and trying to show that maybe a feature of this use is just like not that strong. It doesn't seem.
A feature of this user is
And
not that strong. What do you mean by that?
because words are used in multiple ways,
Yeah,
and this way that you're using it as more of a descriptive thing rather than an insult, because you're not trying to say like people are lesser than you in this sense. I mean, in some way, like people are just lesser than in general than perfect, and I think that's what you're kind of trying to say, like when you say, everyone's an NPC to an extent.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
well, I'm pretty sure 100% of my actions can be described as NPC behavior by somebody, but I never mean for it to be like just from a philosophical perspective. I don't believe in like an objective moral like right or wrong way to live. Where everyone just figuring things
yeah,
out.
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. We don't have to go that far down to like objective morality.
Yeah, but
We can
on
just
on that
simply,
note, it's like when I create the distinction between like me and that girl who doesn't want to talk about the fact that the beliefs that she claims to believe doesn't line up with her actions. I don't believe that her way of living is any worse or any lesser or whatever the word anybody might want to use is anything different in
uh,
that way than mine.
yeah, I get that.
In fact,
That's what I'm saying. I don't like.
she could be considered to be lucky because she never needed to, like out of necessity, develop
Yeah.
that. She could take the other path of life. So it could be you could interpret that as lucky on her part. I'm just using it to create a distinction.
Yeah, but like there like I do agree with Patrick's statement that like your use of critical thinking is like uncritical in and of itself,
Like how?
as Patrick described. I'm not really trying to get too far into it. Like I'm sure that there's something in there, and I don't really care too much to rehash this.
I
I'm just gonna let it go. But regardless, like I mean, the general use case of NPC, I just like it just I don't want to say that I'm like I think there's a degree of like sensitivity that people have, which is like to say that like I'm not really too sensitive. I just don't like it. I just don't like the use of the word NPC. Like we can just use other words in place of it. I think it's just a common word, but it's too associated for saying someone isn't. The lights are on, but no one's home, kind of thing. Like no one's really there. Like I'm not trying to use words that would describe someone like automated behavior or that there is no person in there. There is no human. Like there is no soul is another way to say it. I think those are more clearer and more redeeming, or maybe not redeem, more like if you really want to say like there's no soul in somebody, it's more directly bad to even accuse someone of that. It's like NPC sounds like some surface level teenage talk. But like if you say you have no soul, that's like you're dead. That's what I'm saying. It's awful.
well, yeah.
Um,
When I do talk about NPCs, I'm never actually referring to a situation where like the lights are not on in there or whatever. It's more just an illusion. It's more just what it appears to be from the outside.
Sure. And I can understand that. And that's what then we have to distinguish that. We can't just say that that there's just it may look like that, but that doesn't mean that like the person is there's no soul in there. Like you can present, but doesn't there's no underlying person on the inside. Like there's something called like a philosophical zombie, David Chalmers, I think. What he says is like imagine a person, imagine an entity which has every feature as you, arm, hair, legs, everything. But the one problem is that they don't have consciousness. And so Dave Chalmers uses a philosophical zombie. So essentially you're a zombie. You're like there's no like it acts like you, it walks and talks and moves around just like you, but essentially it's not conscious. And what he's trying to say is he's trying to show an argument for why consciousness is not a physical thing. And I think that that's kind of like first of all I don't like that argument, but what was I talking to about before? It's like calling someone a philosophical zombie. It's like they're essentially like a robot. They're like if you ask an AI if it's alive or something, stabbing it like does it really feel like it fakes feeling? It changes how your morality. If you say people are like soulless, there's nothing on the inside, and you just treat them more shittily, like there's a sort of more like moral imperative that comes with like treating things that are like truly dead on the inside versus something that's alive. Like a philosophical zombie, technically I would have no trouble throwing that into like a dumpster and burying it alive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know if a philosophical zombie even exists.
But just about moral treatment, like if there is a sort of agent, or maybe like a robot, and the robot moves around, like why should I don't care about my Roomba. My Roomba fucking pisses me off. I'm gonna throw it in the dumpster, dude.
Yeah, but if it's realistic enough, eventually we would start to feel empathy for it.
I'd feel guilty if it had like a living soul inside, something that like a soul, or I don't really believe in a soul. I'm just supposing something that sounds ethical, something that if there was a spirit, a soul, a consciousness,